Let this number sink in for a second. 17.9 million. That's how many people died from cardiovascular diseases in just a single year. That's almost a third of all deaths on the entire planet. It is, without a doubt, the world's #1 killer.
But what if we could fight back with something as simple as sound? Today, we're going to dive into some absolutely groundbreaking research about an AI that can diagnose deadly heart conditions with stunning accuracy just by listening to a heartbeat.
Now, to really get why this AI is such a game changer, we first have to understand the problem it's trying to solve, and that's the huge challenge of diagnosing heart disease quickly and accurately. For centuries, our first line of defense has been this thing called auscultation. It's that classic moment when a doctor puts a stethoscope on your chest and just listens. That simple sound is packed with tons of information about how your heart is working, from the valve snapping shut to the blood flowing through.
But here's the catch, and it's a big one. Auscultation is as much an art as it is a science. It's totally subjective. The source material makes it clear. You can have two different, highly trained doctors listen to the exact same heart and come up with two totally different diagnoses. And that's not just some minor detail. It can literally be the difference between catching a deadly condition early or missing it completely. It takes years and years of practice to tell the difference between a healthy lub-dub and the faint little murmurs that scream danger.
Okay, just take a look at this. On the left, you see the nice, clean, regular waveform of a healthy heartbeat. But now, look at the one on the right. That's from someone with aortic stenosis. See how much noisier it is? How the pattern is way less defined? To an expert, that's a clear signal something is wrong. But for most of us, it just looks like static. And that's exactly the challenge.
So, how do you take the guesswork out of it? Well, you turn that sound into pure, objective data. And that is where artificial intelligence comes in, giving us a way to listen that goes way beyond the limits of the human ear.
The key to all of this is the phonocardiogram, or PCG. You can basically think of it as a super high-quality digital recording that turns the physical sound of a heartbeat into a graph. This waveform is the raw data. It's the language the AI speaks, and it lets the AI analyze every single tiny detail of how a heart is functioning.
And what's really cool is that different heart problems create their own unique audio fingerprints. So here we can see the patterns for mitral stenosis and mitral valve prolapse. Yeah, to us, they might look like a bunch of chaotic squiggles, but to a powerful AI, these are clear, readable signatures that it can learn to spot instantly.
Okay, so how does it all work under the hood? I mean, how exactly do you teach a machine to become an expert cardiologist? Well, the researchers developed this brilliant two-stage learning process to do just that.
This right here, this is the brain of the whole operation. It's called a convolutional recurrent neural network, or CRNN for short. It's a special kind of deep learning model that's just perfect for finding patterns and sequences, like, audio signals. It works in two main phases, which the paper calls representation learning and sequence residual learning.
And this slide breaks down that two-stage process perfectly. First up, representation learning teaches the AI what it's hearing. Think of it like learning to pick out all the individual instruments in an orchestra. Then, the second stage, sequence residual learning, teaches the AI how it's hearing it. So it's not just about the instruments, it's about understanding the timing, the rhythm, the whole melody of the heartbeat. You combine those two things, and suddenly, the AI has a complete picture of what's going on.
Now, here's what makes this model a real game changer. It's efficiency. A lot of older methods needed scientists to manually clean up the audio, find the lub and dub sounds by hand, and chop up the recording into little segments before the AI could even get started. This model just skips all that. It works directly on the raw, messy signal, which makes the whole process way faster and fully automated.
So, all of this sounds amazing in theory, but did it actually work? This brings us to the most exciting part of all, the results. Let's see how this AI did when they put it to the test.
99.6%. Let that sink in for a moment. That was the model's overall accuracy in correctly spotting 5 different things, 4 separate heart conditions plus a normal heartbeat. That level of precision is, well, it's just incredible.
And this matrix right here is the visual proof. So in a perfect world, every single diagnosis would land on that dark green diagonal line. That means what the AI predicted matched the actual diagnosis every single time. And as you can see, it's almost a perfectly straight line. The model made virtually no mistakes telling the different conditions apart.
And it's not just accurate on its own.
When you compare it to other top-of-the-line methods that analyze the exact same data, this new model is the clear winner. It outperformed a whole bunch of other approaches, from k-nearest neighbors to other deep neural networks. This isn't just a small step up, it's a huge leap forward.
An amazing result in the lab is one thing, but what does this actually mean for the real world? Well, the way this tech is designed makes it incredibly practical. It's paving the way for smarter stethoscopes and, honestly, safer futures for all of us.
Here's why this really matters. The model is incredibly lightweight. The researchers point out that it has a tiny memory footprint, just under 8 megabytes, and it's not very complex. What that means is you don't need a supercomputer to run it. It's so efficient that you could embed it directly into mobile devices, like a digital stethoscope or maybe even your smartphone.
And that opens up a whole world of possibilities. I mean, just imagine a healthcare worker in a remote village, hundreds of miles from any specialist, being able to perform a cardiac screening with expert-level accuracy just using a handheld device. This technology could completely democratize diagnostics, bringing these life-saving tools to the communities around the world that need them the most.
It's a pretty powerful idea to end on, isn't it? We started with the stethoscope, a tool that hasn't fundamentally changed in 200 years. Now we're looking at a future where that same diagnostic power, and probably even more, could just be sitting in our pockets. So the real question isn't just if AI will change medicine, but how profoundly and how soon.